Hello and welcome back, everyone. This is going to be another Heart of the Swarm replay brought to you by SGCWE. And today, in the bottom right of Newkirk District, we are going to have, I cannot read, so we're just going to call him 910 as our red Terran. And in the bottom left of Newkirk District, we're going to have TriBones as our blue Protoss player. PVT, fairly exciting stuff. Both races have a pretty good amount of new units, so this will make things interesting. I'm hoping that it's going to largely switch up the metagame, make mech a little more viable, and even possibly see some some new sky toss units, or even just some way kind of incorporating the mothership where maybe like you can dart in, pick off a third mass recall type of thing. I think that that's something that's still very underutilized by a lot of Protoss players, but we'll see what happens in this game. Does look like it's going to be a 1 Rax expand and a 1 gateway expand, although we will see we might try to go for a little bit more early pressure, a little bit of a safer play, and negate to instantly take said natural. This is Heart of the Swarm, guys, not Wings of Liberty. Probably won't be casting really any more Wings of Liberty. To be honest, it's really hard to find a lot of high level playing games on Wings of Liberty anymore. A lot of people have already switched to Heart of the Swarm due to the fact that there's really no big tournaments coming out for Wings of Liberty before the release of Heart of the Swarm, and with it being so close, it's not really worth the time of most of the players to deal with any more Wings of Liberty. Cybercore coming out from Bones. Does look like we're going to see an expansion on the low ground placed down. Will Bones answer this with an expansion of his own, or are we going to see like 2 more gateways thrown down for a little bit of 3-gate aggression, possibly with a mothership once the cybernetics core finishes up? One zealot on the way, chronoing out a stalker. Just making sure that there's no sort of shenanigans blocking the expansion. Warp gate is on the way to gas for our Terran player. And the Nexus does get thrown down. SCB spots this. It's probably just going to go up into the main. Nope. Stalker does push him back. Proxy Pylon probably going to get laid down here. Unless he's just checking for a quick third, but that seems like a very weird rally, to be honest. But this bunker's probably going to finish, and these 4 Marines are not going to let this probe up in here. Yeah. And dead. CC finishing up just a little bit before the Nexus. It's about halfway done, so there will be a little bit of an economic advantage. Mothership core coming down. I'm surprised that there has not been another gateway thrown down just yet for our Protoss player, unless he's trying to possibly put on like a whole bunch of aggression with, like, say, you know, just throw down 3 gates at one time. Well, there's 2 more. Or he's not really trying to invest too terribly much into his gateways and might be going for like a Stargate play, as I kind of mentioned earlier, is possible. No, not another barracks coming down, just a barracks, and this reactor more than likely going to be for Widow Mines or Hellions. We shall see. Mothership does look like it's just going to do some scouting. Starport coming down, so we do have the 111 coming out of our Terran player Robo facility coming down for TriBones. Does look like he's just going to poke in here, try and take out an SCV or 2. Probably not do a terrible amount of damage. Once these 3 Marines show up, it's not going to be a big deal. Slowing the mining time, also very, very cool. As we can see. Mothership does get away, does not get that due to not having tunneling or drilling claws. Is supply blocked? Just now finishing up. Gotta make sure that that doesn't happen, guys. Very, very crucial. Now we do see a triple factory coming out as well as a 3rd CC, so it does look like he's going to attempt to go into some mech play, and we shall see how this works. Remember, guys, the Widow Mines do a little bit more damage now. They do plus 15 versus shield units, so literally just Protoss. To try and make mech a little bit more viable. I do like this buff from Blizzard. Pretty cool, I think. Another factory coming down, so we are going to have a total of 4 factories. It's about all you can afford with a starport as well. It's a little bit of a scouting hallucinated Phoenix. An armory coming down for any sort of Hellbat switch and upgrades. What do we have going on in the Protoss base? Double Forge coming down and cancels it and decides to go double Stargate. Okay, so it does look like we're going to be seeing some Sky Toss versus Mech. This is not something that I am used to seeing. Really never happened in Wings of Liberty for the most part. So this will be interesting to see how this plays out. 3rd base coming down for TriBones. And it does look like we're going to see a Widow Mine drop here. Not very effective, lost 2. The Observer is there, so pre-igniter coming down. Blue Flame, that is. Very, very cool. Missile turret. Just for any sort of DT detection. And I'm sure he's also possibly worried about any sort of Oracle harass. Double Void Ray coming out, as well as +1 air weapons. Drilling claws for the Widow Mines. Smidvac's going to have to be very careful, as it does only have 17 hit points. So if it comes up in here, these 2 Stalkers are going to be able to knock it down very quickly. Not sure why he had those rallied to the Stalkers, but hey. Smidvac does get spotted, has to use its afterburners to get away, not very effectively. 3rd base is now up for our Protoss player, and it does look like we're going to see a Hellbat drop. Not sure where he's sending it exactly. No rallied just yet. 2 Oracles on the way, as well as Twilight Council. Is this heading over to the 3rd base? Where are you going? Yes, it is heading over to the 3rd base. So we are going to see a Hellbat drop here on the 3rd. He's going to need to get some forces up there. No, in fact, he decides to try and drop in the natural. This could do a great deal of damage, but there's already so many units there to protect against this. And is this Medvac going to go down? He should really try to drop this 30. Could probably do a significant amount of damage. In fact, just flies by it. 2 more Voiders on the way. Templar Archives. Fleet Beacon for that mothership. Raven on the way as well from the Meching Terran. These Oracles coming in here, doing a little bit of damage, and they're going to easily be able to kill these 4 Marines. They weren't even rallied correctly. Is not good for our Terran player. And this Oracle has 8 kills, 4 on this one. Not a good situation to be in. Really can just kind of delay a whole bunch of mining time here. I mean, this is 1/3 of his economy, and he's not even able to do anything with it. Surprised that the Protoss didn't take this base. I feel like it's a little bit easier to guard if you have your forces, well, right here. That way you can bounce to your 3rd, bounce to your natural, or just come up this ramp to your main. This Void Ray, yep, Medvac's down from the Void Rays. This Medvac still chilling up here with these Hellbats, looking for a drop sometime soon. All sorts of pylons just to make sure he can probably build buildings and drop any sort of cannons for defense. Third base is up, a whole bunch of siege tanks, and we do see Tempests being transitioned into. Very, very cool. Going to see a hell of a lot of Sky Toss. We already have Void Rays out. We have a couple Oracles still doing Harass, I believe. Yes, still doing Harass. This Thor should be able to thwart aggression, though fairly substantially. Thors are pretty strong, not gonna lie. Widowmine was picked off here. And, the 2 Tempests are out. 2 more on the way, plus 2 weapons coming out as well as plus 1 ground weapons. So Oracles have been found out by the Vikings, and that is not good. It does look like they're going to barely be able to get away. Scan, only seeing 1 Immortal. So this still does not tell him the story of the Tempests. 4th base is now up for our Protoss player. This is a freaking beastly mech force. We have a couple Widowmines here to do some splash damage, a whole bunch of Blue Flame Hellions, tanks, and some anti-air with these Vikings and these Thors. Don't know how much they're going to be able to do. Would be surprised if he does not transform these into Hellbats, but decides not to. Sieging up. Not in range of anything at the moment. Looks like we're going to see missile turrets, but with the range on these Tempests, it's going to be so hard to engage this army. Keep in mind that these Void Rays do extra damage to pretty much everything in this composition besides the Hellions and Widowmines. And the Raven, but that's not really an attack unit, so no big deal. Planetary Nexus, as most people like to call it, coming down here. The range on this is crazy good. And now being sieged up by these Tempests, the Void Rays with Prismatic Alignment coming in. Hunter's Seeker Missile coming down on these units, though, and not a terrible amount of damage, but so many of these missile turrets have been left unfinished. 1 Thor did go down in this battle. A lot of the Vikings lost. Now only building Thors and Vikings. Ship level 1 coming out as well, and he does have these double queued, so that's a huge, yes, he does realize. Very, very good. Blue Flame Hellions coming down, and nice little trick there from TriBones, just making sure that there's not an entrance here. I would just still like to see him kind of sweep up here. You could take out this entire mineral line once the army leaves siege back up here and really do a ton of damage. A lot of the siege tanks did go down, though, in the previous engagement. Some siege tanks getting pulled up here. Probably going to like siege right here and then start doing some damage. 4th is up for both players, so economy still on very even footings. These 4 cannons going to be shot down so quickly. Very cool. You see that cannon just kind of rolling around. Now with vision from the observer here. Oh, and the Hunter Seeker Missile does fizz out. Very nice. I like that it's not completely inescapable as it used to be in Wings of Liberty. You see a little bit of an engagement happening up here, but now it looks like we are going to see a huge push forward with these Thors and Vikings here from our Terran player. Both players pretty much maxed out and just slowly pushing forward with these Tempests now sieging up. We do see Javelin missiles being switched to Storms going down on the mech army. All Prismatic Alignment happening from these Void Rays, and it does look like a terrible amount of damage. Look at the supply plummeting in fact, from our Terran player. Oh my good lord, but he's now finally trading pretty cost effectively. But with these Immortals coming in as well, he's just not going to be able to do a terrible amount. Aggression was pushed back pretty handily. Some Hellions being misrallied. Tanks and Thors coming out as well, but just not sure he's going to really be able to do a terrible amount here. He's getting some pretty good upgrades, trying to switch to more anti-air, using the Hellions as his mineral dump here. But such a strong force coming out of Tribones, these Tempests, Prismatic Alignment, Void Rays, and Immortals. This just tears through any sort of meching army, and as we can see, the GG is in fact called out from our Terran player. So, if you're wondering how to handle the new mech, guys, watch this game. TriBones put on a clinic against our, I'm assuming, somewhat Taiwanese, Korean, maybe even from the China region, although I don't believe that that's actually involved with the worldwide play at the moment in HOTS. Couple mistakes to note, like this medvac never being utilized with these Hellbats. Could have definitely dropped here, done a ton of damage to this base. But, hey, you know, still pretty rough for meching players in Heart of the Swarm versus any sort of Protoss units. But I'm sure that we will see this kind of fixed, as this was a huge problem in Wings of Liberty. If you guys did enjoy the game, please feel free to follow me at SGCWE or leave a cool comment on YouTube at /SGCWE. Thank you guys for watching. New content comes out daily. Stay tuned for another video. And yeah, like I said, feel free to hop over to my channel on YouTube and check out all sorts of videos. I have playlists, tons of videos, content daily. Please, please, please feel free to leave some constructive criticism as well. Thank you for watching, and GLHF.